Yeah, this man doesn't give himself enough credit at all.
Okay.
I mean, he's the reason we kind of got introduced in the first place.
This
You know,
is big
just-
facts.
I mean, it's as extroverted as I am. There's moments when I'm so dialed in that I become very introverted, and that music video shoot was a very surprisingly introverted moment for me.
Right.
So he was just walking around, introducing the scene, you know, introducing himself to other people and what we were doing. But we've been doing business, and you know, we've been close friends for a long time as well. So I learned from the science side. He learns a lot of the real estate side from me as well, and hopefully can help you guys out.
Yeah. So how does a laboratory scientist get his hands in multiple things like real estate, crypto, investing? Like,
It's not a natural transition.
yeah. How did all that happen?
So I think it's just in the name itself, you're a scientist. You run many different experiments, have to try different things, look at different things, right? But also it just comes from my background. Where we went to school, we were just around lots of people that did really cool stuff. So I just gained a really good base understanding of different things. But I just knew, like, my core thing though was always science. I was always passing organic chemistry, biology classes. Even when I was a young kid, I used to get hurt all the time, and I would be the one fixing myself or fixing other people. So I just knew I always had a knack for healthcare. But just being a young guy, I've always wanted just to try and experiment with different things. So that's how I get my hand into all these different things.
So you've done a lot of different projects, right? Land, raw land, Airbnbs. I don't know where to go, but like which one is your passion, or which one did you just gravitate to, you know, naturally?
Yeah, so definitely I started off more with the science space. Like I said, as a kid, I was just always really good at science classes, so I knew I wanted to at least be like a doctor or work somewhere in the medical space. But obviously, we know it's still a very salary cap style pay, and I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, be a business owner. So I knew I could maybe do something within that space. But in the U.S., we just have so much red tape around the stuff. So I was like, well, you know what? That just takes more years to get there. But let me put a little bit of emphasis into other things that can build that capital and that cash flow to like run a hospital system or run a laboratory system, because it just takes so much capital to run such a thing. So that's how I dabbled into like investing, crypto, and stuff like that. And really the way it started was, let's say probably back in my freshman year of high school. I was always buying Jordans, selling sneakers, Nike SBs.
Go broke doing that real
Bro,
quick.
I remember his dad calling him. I could hear him over the phone yelling at him about a credit card bill. It was like $2,000.
Yeah.
All shoes.
It was Supreme back then.
Mm-hmm.
It was also it was Supreme drops.
Yeah.
And I could hear him yelling in the background, trying to cut him off, and he still made money off it. But his dad was like, "This is not sustainable." I could just hear him yelling in his Nigerian accent, just yelling at him over the phone, over and over. But he still went on to do that, and I think he took that same entrepreneurial mindset into real estate, and then starting his own lab with the COVID testing and a lot of different things. That the foundation's very early for the entrepreneurial mindset, and I think if you capitalize that when you're young, it kind of propels you into different aspects, whether you go into crypto or real estate investing or financial investing. It's that very introductory aspect of being an entrepreneur that starts it.
So let's go back to 2013 when you really started, you know, dabbling into crypto in a really an unknown currency that's out there. Talk to us about, you know, what you've seen over the last, you know, 9-10 years.
Yeah. So when I started back in 2013, I mostly started with Litecoin. Back then they were saying like, you know, Bitcoin is for the cartels and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm a good young kid. I'm not trying to touch Bitcoin. But I was like, let me go into Litecoin. So, you know, in high school, we have like a few 20, 30, 40 bucks here or there. So I threw some money into there. And every single day it was like 50, 50, 50, 50. I was like, this is good money. I just in the morning, wake up and buy. So I started just to really study more like into it. And so I found, hey, this is a whole different like way of like using money and different way of like living your life. So in 2013, that's when I first started. And I've always just been a buy and hold person, buy and hold. I'm never really into the whole technical analysis. Trading, I think that's for geeks. It's too much work like that. But definitely the space has changed. It's been a lot more mass adoption, which is really good for a lot of people. It's just been a really good way for people to make more money, to really utilize their money in a lot better ways. And it's just the future of the currency. Like, you know,
Do you think, because a lot of, like, it's out, like everybody knows about crypto,
Yeah.
is it going to go anywhere?
Oh yeah. Like, do you think it's not going to go anywhere?
No, I'm asking, like, is crypto going to, like, no longer be in existence?
No, it's here to stay. So if you don't know, the SEC has actually started doing filings and doing their compliance work on stable coins, which are USDC and USDT. So now the SEC is saying, hey, this is an actual currency, and we're going to have to
Major banks as well.
to
JP
use
Morgan,
it.
I think.
to get our hands in it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one thing that nobody really ever talks about. They don't tell you that, hey, the banks are really into this right now. So,
But because of that, it's not as sexy as it was, and up till this point, right? So I know a lot of people want to get away from what's the term called? Fiat currency, right? Like, do you feel like with the government stepping in, especially the U.S. government, right, that people will start to go to something else? Like NFTs are huge right now.
yeah.
I'm again.
So,
Like, this is like where we split on that end is the crypto, the NFTs. But he's a firm believer. He makes money off it. I tell him, hey, bro, if I give you this money for that, turn it into something, because I have no idea how to market or how to like navigate any of those markets, because they're just they're so,
Especially the NFT side, it's still such a very
so
new
volatile.
frontier.
That's what it is. Like there's like
So volatile.
people. There's only like a certain amount of people that really get this shit. You know what I mean? And I'm trying. I get it. Like globally, I understand it, what it is, but like to get in and make money, like I can buy and hold, and you're making a little bit here and there, but like you seem to be a person that really knows it. So I mean, do you see it still being around forever?
Oh, 1,000%. So when it comes to like the NFT space, yes, everybody makes money in like crypto, like buy and holding. They buy like a meme coin and it shoots up to make $1 million. Great, but the real actual utility of like an NFT is it gives you access into certain networks and certain groups. I know a lot of people familiar with the Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? The Bases and stuff like that. Yeah, of course, it's like $200,000 to buy a picture of a JPEG. But think of the other people that can afford to buy those kind of things. So the way that the Bored Ape Yacht Club works is, hey, you buy this NFT for 65 Ethereum, right? But now that gives you a ticket into a club with other people that can own this kind of asset. So now you have guys like Post Malone, Future. There's some real estate guys, wealthy people, and they host meetups once, twice a year. So now, like, imagine like the TheVisionLab. Hey, we own Bored Ape number 6425. Hey, we're on the list. Hey, we can go out to Dubai and hang out with Future. Like all these people and just talk and mastermind and build that way. So that's the real utility of a lot of these things.
It's like a pay to play almost.
Yeah, but then, and obviously, if you buy it when it first comes out at like 1 Ethereum, and then there's a lot of hype behind it, celebrities are buying it, basketball players, football players are buying into it, then you can catch the swing of it of like, hey, no, it's worth
Before
more.
it becomes public, almost like an IPO. It's everything on the financial side of it. It's almost like catching it before it goes public. Because once it goes public, it's going to be very difficult to get a hold of it at the floor price.
Yeah, exactly.
So another thing that you're in, Airbnbs, and I have a huge affinity for Airbnbs as a business model. I love it. I think it makes a shit ton of sense. How'd you get involved in Airbnbs?
So I got into Airbnbs because of Matt, actually. So I moved down to College Station, where I became a lab manager for a laboratory down there for the past year and a half. And so I got this. Well, first off, College Station is a cheap place to live. So the amount of space I got down, their computer here was almost 3 times the space. So I have like a 2-bedroom apartment, like almost 1,000 square feet, and it's just me there, like by myself. So I had an extra bedroom. He's like, hey, dude, like you work all the time, you're hardly ever there. Why not just rent out the second bedroom? I was like, okay, yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. Like, I'll look into it. Still not sure if I wanted to have like random people in the house with me. But now then, as I started to do the travel contract, I'm no longer at my apartment as often. I was like, well, hey, I have nice art, like good furniture and everything. It's already set up to be like a rental. So I was like, hey, let me just put it up on Airbnb and see. And literally from day one, we just have bookings after bookings after bookings.
And sent me a picture of his profile from like day one before he booked, and he already had the whole month booked out. Like 80% occupancy rate for like full price.
In a college town.
In a college town,
In a college town,
for a regular apartment that people, can go rent for $1,200-$1,300 a month, they're paying $100 a day.
Yeah. So that's what I did out there, and since I do own like other assets around this continent,
It's continent.
Yeah. He's trying to, bro. He's trying to be.
He's
He's trying to be cordial and like humble. The guy's got like a penthouse in Guadalajara. It's got like amazing views, and it's on Airbnb, and it's insane. Like
Yeah.
what they've been. Able to accomplish.
How'd you get tapped into Guadalajara, Mexico?
Yeah, so the way I got tapped into Guadalajara, Mexico, it's a long story, but long story short, almost like an NFT. I bought into an NFT, and that got me into a group of people who are really, really wealthy guys, and so just just studied with them a lot, hung around with them a lot, and then also I'm a very international person. I like to, be abroad. That's where like my affinity lies. So they were like, "Hey, go and visit some friends out of Mexico. Just like go and hang out." And I went there, and I love the city so much. Originally, my family were from Nigeria, so I used to live there for about 6 years, and we haven't been back in so long just because of like work and schooling and stuff like that. But when I visited Mexico, it just reminded me so much of Nigeria. I was like, wow, I loved it. The streets were the same, the air was the same, the way that people acted was the same. So I went there twice just to visit, hang out, have fun. But the third time I was like, wow, I can like really afford like a property here because it's the Mexican market. It's a bit more affordable to get into. But the returns on that you get and the quality of the property you get down there is so much better than over here.
Really?
So I took
For the price. For the price.
Yeah. So I took the risk. It was like, hey, you know what? Let me just invest in a little apartment here, and I picked it up. So that's like my little vacation getaway. But then when I'm not there, we just put it up on Airbnb. And luckily, once again, through the people, a network is a really big thing, right? So luckily, through the network, I have some guys that can go down there, clean it up, make sure it's running smoothly while I'm not there. And that's how I got into the Mexican market.
Yo, that's fire. That's fire.
It's nice.
We have to bring him back for a full show.
Yeah, for
You see the whole
sure.
city from the
It's-
top floor.
it's
There's a
beautiful.
helipad at the top. You feel like you're a billionaire when you're there.
We will be talking offline more about this.
Yes, sir.
Man, we appreciate you stopping in. Thank you, man, for bringing us for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tune in each and every week to the Vision Lab on Tuesdays at 11:30 Central Standard Time. I'm Cuff. That's Mo, Aaron, Matthew.
See y'all next week, y'all.